Handgun safety seminar was organized by Precinct 6 Constable Bill Bode, and since that time, some 1,800 women have been trained in safe handling of weapons, and we're joined this morning by Rita. She is a deputy in Precinct 6 in the Reserve, and John Greenwood, who is the chief deputy. Good morning. Nice to have you with us.
Good morning.
Rita, you are a woman. You carry a .357 Magnum, Smith & Wesson revolver in your profession, and you are in charge of the program in advising women who keep handguns for their own protection. Who are these women, and are they aware enough about the guns perhaps to be safe in having one in their homes?
Well, I really feel like once they've gone through our seminar that they do feel safe with them, and apparently they don't feel safe because that's why they come to our seminar. And we've had a number of women in their 70s, their late 70s, that have come because they are living alone and they've had a gun and they don't know how to use it.
Mm-hmm. Now, John, in terms of encouraging this safety seminar, are you finding as you work with these women that many women, and perhaps men, have access to guns or have guns in the house, whether they be hunting weapons or revolvers, as we're seeing here in the first training, and are not aware of the use of them, the proper use?
Well, I think probably there's a lot of females that their husbands have weapons. They may go off on a hunting trip or not be around the house, and they'll leave a weapon there for the protection of the home. Probably the best reason for the seminar is to be familiar with that weapon. Maybe the man will tell the woman that the gun is loaded, it's in the drawer. If you need it, all you have to do is pick it up, point it, pull the trigger. But I think a lot of women are afraid of guns. They need to, whatever weapon is there for their protection, they should be able to check the weapon, see if it's loaded, and just basically know the operation of it so they can feel at ease and be familiar with that weapon.
Are those the things you go through in the seminar?
Yeah, we try to show the basic operation of a revolver, an automatic, some of the safety features, and then we take them out on the range, let them fire the weapon, be familiar with what to expect when the gun goes off, and just a basic overall view of how to handle a weapon, load it, unload it, clean it, just basic safety with the weapon.
All right. You have, in fact, your weapon, which is an automatic weapon, Rita's handgun, which is a revolver, and you brought along a shotgun. They are unloaded. They are in a safe situation. But if, for instance, with this shotgun, if you were to find a shotgun or say it has just come back from a hunting trip, how can someone who's not familiar with the weapon check that to make sure that it is safe?
Probably the first thing, it should probably be brought into the house with the action open, so you can visually tell that there's not any ammunition in it. If it's closed, you can turn it over, in the magazine in the bottom, you can see the end of the shells if the gun's loaded. Most pump shotguns have a device that you can press with your finger and let a round out at a time. You don't have to cycle them through the action. So probably the best thing to do would be to check that first to see that there's not any ammunition in there. And you can try the action. If the gun's cocked, the pump won't work. There's a little lever here on the bottom that will release that. And once you have it open, it'll eject. If there was a round in there, it would be ejected out, and you can still see through the magazine.
But if you see a brass-colored top on the inside your weapon is very dangerous at that point and is loaded, right?
There's a round in the magazine and possibly more.
All right. Now, also the safety on a shotgun is the red dot. Is that correct?
When this is pushed forward and you can see the red dot, that indicates that it's in an unsafe condition.
All right. So would the first thing you do, being aware of that, treat it very gingerly and make sure you put it back on the safety position? Yeah,
when you had it pushed to the rear where you can't see the red on the shotgun, that puts the safety mechanism in action. If you can see, most of them are marked with red. You see the red, that's
a danger symbol right there.
Sign.
All right. In the training of the women in the seminars, do you find that they are bringing automatic weapons with them, or are they bringing revolvers?
It's hard for any one seminar. There's a large assortment from small .22 automatics to some of the ladies come in packing a .44 double action. You just there's really no way to measure what they're bringing in to shoot. It's just, a lot of times it's just what's available. Maybe their father has a gun around the house that he's given them. Or
All right, with your automatic weapon, would you show us how to make certain that that was safe if in fact someone left it for you for a protective situation to make sure it was safe?
On the automatic, again, it has the little dot, and you put the safety on, and the first thing I would do would be to release the magazine. And you can visually check to see that there's not any ammunition there, and then just bring the slide back. And nearly every automatic has a feature to lock the slide to the rear, and you can look in and see that there's not a round in there. That's
if there was a round in there, again, even on safety, it should be treated as a lethal weapon, correct?
Yes. And if there had been a round in there, when I would have pulled the slide back, it would have ejected it out on the floor.
All right, what about the revolver? How can we make certain it is safe?
The revolver is probably the simplest. You have a release on the side of the weapon, and you just roll the cylinder out, and you can see the empty cylinders. Probably the safest to have around the house to handle is a revolver, because you can visually check to see that if it is loaded. And it takes to cycle this thing, you can pull the trigger double action, and it revolves the cylinder from one round to the other.
But just if it was, again, in a drawer or a closet, if you saw the ends of the shells, or again, any indication of a brass casing would indicate that it was loaded.
Sure, the first thing you should do is open that up and check. Be sure that it's not loaded, but probably...
All right. This seminar is full, but Rita, you're telling us that it will take place this weekend. Is there a waiting list for individuals that need to know this kind of information? Will you do another seminar if you get response?
Yes, as soon as we get response enough for another one, we usually start out a list of about 25 ladies, and then I start calling, and I put a notice in the newspaper of some sort, and maybe on the television, and they do start calling in, and what they do is they talk to our dispatcher, give their name and their telephone number, and then I contact them a little bit later and tell them more about it.
All right, for more information, you may call 241-7604, and the key in that entire statement of gun safety seminar is safety and being aware. We thank you so much. Appreciate
you for having us.
We'll be back in a moment as we talk.